This is on a Saturday, 2 p.m. in the very popular ShopRite shopping mall in the VI on the Iru, heading towards Lekki Toll Gate axis. When we say that Nigeria is facing a cost of living crisis, people think it's a joke. This is the parking, and you see how scanty and empty it is. You see how empty and scanty it is. It's very simple. I mean, these things they don't make themselves up. The government can lie to themselves all they want, but it's very clear that Nigeria is going through a major cost of living crisis. Very difficult. 2 years ago.
You see, this thing that this guy is showing online apparently is not far. It's not far from what's going on in different parts of the country. Talking about Port Harcourt, talking about Abuja, talking about Kaduna, talking about Kano, just name it. It's not far from basically what is happening across the country. It is the same. Part of the reason is people are people have thought it wise to cut their teeth, all right? There is no extra money anywhere. So whatever you have, you manage it to the best of your abilities. So if, for instance, you usually buy fuel at 200 naira, okay, let's even put it at 250, and then your fuel moved to 1,000, which is about now the average that you buy fuel across the country. I mean, that's like what, 5 times whatever it is that it's going to purchase. So think about it this way: you're buying fuel. You're buying fuel 5 times the price. That's about the 5 times that everything is going to skyrocket, because transportation is one of the major costs of production. And so factoring in these costs is somewhat something that people have done and calculated and say, no, what? Why do I have to even go to the mall to waste my money, to waste the fuel, when I know that, well, I can as well, go once in a week instead of going 3 times in a week or 4 times in a week, or maybe go once in 2 weeks, or don't even go at all. Sometimes going to some of these malls are somewhat a show off of personal wealth, or maybe some raising of shoulders, of some sort. So if you don't really have anything you're doing in the mall, so why would you want to go to the mall in the first place? So they tell you that most of the people who go to the mall are people who just want to go there to show up. And by the way, I know several owners of malls. Several owners of shops in the mall. They have complained bitterly right from when this administration kicked in. They have complained bitterly about how difficult it is to even raise funds, to even pay for the rent of that particular shop. It is that bad. It is that very, very bad. Things are high up there. The cost of living is off the roof. There's nobody that can tell you otherwise, because it's something that citizens feel every day. I mean, what was the cost of a penta of Gary, in 2023 before Tinubu took over? What was the cost of beans when Tinubu took over? What was the cost of rice? So when you factor all of these things together, you will know that the cost of living is off the roof, is off the chains. So it is not peculiar to this Lekki axis, but though this is because we're talking about the commercial hub of the nation, the commercial capital of Nigeria, where business is supposed to be booming, where people are supposed to be out and about doing their stuff. You can imagine. So it's no longer a thing of moving from Lekki Phase 1 and maybe want to go to VI or want to go to the mainland to get something that's cheap, you are just going to look at for things that are around you that are cheap, and then you go there and buy, because by the time you factor in the cost of transporting yourself from one place to another, you'd rather just stay around and do whatever you need to do to, get things done. So it is not peculiar to Lagos or maybe the Lekki, it's just across the country, and it is that bad. And from the government perspective, this is deliberate. I'm sorry to say, it's deliberate. There's no sugarcoating it. Or maybe if you're supporting the government, fine. You're supporting the government and you are feeding from the government, fantastic. It's all good. But look, let's not sugarcoat it. This thing is deliberate. It's deliberate in so many ways because, one, you have removed subsidy from fuel. That is the only subsidy a common man enjoys. Where has that subsidy gone? Every country in the world today subsidizes something for its citizens. It's either they're subsidizing medicines or subsidizing school, they're subsidizing just virtually some things that if they're not going to subsidize something, then they're going to subsidize the other thing so that you are not, hounded by the cost of production or cost of living, because it's also a merry-go-round thing. It's an economy. If something doesn't affect one, it would affect the other. So you remove subsidy on fuel and everybody is pained by it. So what are people enjoying from this government where they have put us on subsidy? As soon as subsidy was removed, we know that it dragged for so long for even the minimum wage to be increased to 70,000 naira that it is. And even the 70,000 naira is even difficult for most states to even pay. In fact, some states have not even implemented the 70,000 naira consequential adjustment. So you ask yourself, really, what sort of government are we even running? A situation where federal government announces that every corners of the country now pays minimum wage of 70,000 naira. But you still have states that have refused on their own, deliberately just refused to even implement the 70,000 minimum wage. And then they call the bluff. And every time we turn on the TV, we hear Tinubu shout, "Oh, I've given state government, well, hold your state government responsible." I agree 100% that state governments play a critical role in macro and micro economies of different parts of the country. But then again, shouting is not enough. You say citizens should hold their government account. How do they hold their government account? How has even holding the government account even worked for most people? When people in government even have, immunity. If it's a government that targets you, you are in trouble. Somebody criticizes somebody on social media. Just criticizing somebody on social media. The next day they are being picked up and they disappear. Take a look at what has happened even in Anambra State here. Anambra State, a lawmaker who is a member of the State House of Assembly criticized the leadership of the Assembly that the distribution of their resources or the largesse coming from the state government is not adequately done across board. They hounded the guy. He's a lawmaker. They hounded the guy and then suspended him. So you look at the whole system. How do you hold your government to account when the institutions are weak to even hold government to account? Is it not the institutions that would help you hold government to account? These institutions have been weakened by these men who will tell us, go and hold your government responsible. You, the president, have refused to strengthen the institutions of this nation. And then you turn back and tell us you have given more money to the governors, and then we should go and hold them responsible. They're the ones that are holding money. Who are you talking to? Like, why? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Anyways, I really don't know what you guys think. Tell me what you think in the comments. I would love to hear from you. For this, on the final note, I personally feel it's deliberate. It's deliberate. You increase the minimum wage to 70,000 naira, and then your fuel price is on more than 5 times what it used to be, and then you cannot you say you have more monies, and then you still keep minimum wage at 70,000 naira. Why is minimum wage not at the very least 200,000? At the very least, minimum wage in Nigeria should have been 200,000. In South Africa, minimum wage there is 380,000 naira. Nobody receives anything less than 350,000 naira as minimum wage in South Africa. That's for if you are exchanging, because they use rand and we use naira. So if you're exchanging rand to naira, that is the price in naira. I did the calculation. Minimum wage in Ghana is far better. Minimum wage in Ivory Coast is far better. So I'm just thinking to myself, there is this monies that the government have that they have refused to release to the public through either minimum wage increase or through other means. They are just pushing it piecemeal by piecemeal. Why is that? Elections are around the corner, and they know that the elections are going to be mostly monetized. They're going to be pushing monies a lot into the public. And of course, anybody who is going to be giving 50 to 100,000 naira to sell their vote, they will sell their vote. This is exactly what it is. They will sell it. I mean, who wouldn't want to sell their vote for 50K, 100K, 150K if at all you are giving? Because they know the stakes are higher, and this is the second term of the president. So he even if he means sharing dollars, he's going to do it. As long as it will keep him in power, he's going to do it. So it is deliberate. It's just deliberate. They just want to make sure that the masses remain poor, and then during election time they use monies to get them to do their bidding, either through force, or they use through payments, which is exactly what is going to play out. Tell me any election since 2011 that hasn't been heavily monetized. This particular one in 2027 will be double extra monetized. And that is why I would say that Peter Obi might not have a chance in that regard. Peter Obi might not give you money, yes, even though he might be the best candidate on paper. But trust me, in this country, not the best candidate doesn't always win. The person who wins is the person who spends the most monies, either by buying people out, by paying for logistics, or for just spending their money, on people. It is what it is. That's the country we live in. Well, I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear as always.